Hello, friends. I know everyone wants me to quickly start telling the story. Okay, I'm starting. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Prologue. Saturday morning, April 15th. Hurricane warnings have swept the entire city, and the high winds are beginning to file in, and the 4 sorority sisters of the Omega sector have gathered together in the den of their precious home. Their leader of the sorority, Jamie, is gone somewhere unknown, and they are wondering desperately where she could be. Sarah, she's been gone for a while now, Cassie, one of the sorority girls says. She pushes back her long blonde hair behind her pink jacket and focuses her attention back onto her candle. The lights are out from the high wind pressure, and it is beginning to rain. We can look for her. She's probably with her boyfriend in the frat house down the road, Sarah replies. She blinks twice and then looks over to the front door of the complex. She, being a portly tomboy, sits out with a comic book and a bag of chips in her lap. It's getting worse, though, Abigail, the third sister, says to her sorority brethren. She brushes her black hair in front of her eye to simulate her inner thoughts of being gothic or emo. She stands up and pulls back the blinds to the window to see nothing but mist arising from the streets. Her black shirt sags downward as she turns back to her sorority sisters. She's the sorority leader, Abigail, Cassie says. Nobody cares about Jamie, Cassie, Christina, the final sorority sister mutters, blowing out her candle and standing up from the group. Where are you going? Sarah asks. To bed. Wake me up when the boogeyman gets you, okay? Christina says, walking off into a hallway to find her bedroom. Forget her. I say we look for her. She could be stuck in her car or something, right? Cassie asks. If we look for her, we have to go now, Abigail says, looking back to Cassie. The two squint at Sarah as if to force her to agree. Christina emerges from her room with an umbrella. Fine, since you really want to find the hag, we'll go together. Christina scorns, throwing the umbrella down at Cassie. She gracefully picks it up and walks over to the front door of the row, and lifts the hatch to walk outside. Outside, rain beats down on the cars and umbrella. The wind blows rapidly, and Cassie calls for her sorority leader, Jamie. Cassie. A distressed voice calls back. Surprised, she beckons her sisters to follow her outside. Then they march out into the parking lot and squint their eyes in the direction of Jamie's distress call. They march onward to find a woman waving her hand by an old sorority row home that was abandoned because of a fire. The girls make their way over to the old and singed sorority row. They walk up to meet a skinny woman with short brown hair and walk inside. There isn't anyone else but her in there, and so the girls happily sit down on a couch. Where is everyone? Cassie asks. The boys left me here. I hate this storm. It's locked me in over here. This place is freaky. Too, there's creaking and stuff going on, and it was really freaky. Good thing my girls came to get me, though. Jamie exclaims. A door behind them, leading down into a basement, flies open suddenly, and a gust of wind flows by their feet. Chapter 1. I wonder if that's your boyfriend, Jamie? Abigail asked teasingly. Probably. Get out of there, Chad. It ain't working. Jamie teases. Sounds like some horror cliché joke, Jamie, Christina says. Let's just go along with it. Could be fun, Jamie says, leading the girls down the stairway and into the basement. Down here, they find a dimly lit singed cavern of torn wallpaper and shelves for storage. Abigail begins messing around with a shelf around the area and eventually backs off. Nothing's down here. Could it have been the wind? Asks Cassie. The wind doesn't open doors. Chad's hiding down here or something, Jamie says, looking around the dim room. The light of the basement stairs is only barely enough to illuminate the area. Let's get back upstairs, Christina says, stepping in front of the girls and heading up the short set of basement stairs. Abigail begins to walk ahead but screams at the sight of a rat crossing her feet. She trips backward and smashes into a shelf, which in turn crashes through a weak wall to reveal a corridor of singed concrete. So that's where he's hiding, Jamie says, walking over to help her friend up. Rubbing her shoulder in pain, Abigail simply walks back over to the stairs and sits down on the bottom layer. Jamie steps inside to find a small box in the middle of a circle of 7 black and lit candles. Sarah steps in, and steps back out. "Kay, there's enough for me. We're going back up." The doors to the basement shut quickly, alerting everyone inside. "Chad. This isn't funny, let us out of here now," Sarah shouts in fury. In the singed room, Jamie bends down to her knees to investigate the box. Something seems to compel her to lift the hatch and release whatever is inside. And she does, and the candles all blow out as if a gust of wind had blown them all out. She finds 3 pictures and 3 pictures only inside of this box. She lifts them out and inspects them by a lighter she pulled from her pockets. If only I had a cigarette, she thought. The first 2 pictures were of a girl riding a horse. The second picture, though, revealed a man watching her from the trees. He had on, from what could be made out, a tuxedo. The left side of his face was badly burned, and he had what looked like a stick in his right arm. He had no pupils, only a black iris. The third and final picture was torn off, but what was left behind was the smiling girl's face, revealing she had no pupils either, only a black iris. Jamie grabbed the box and walked out of the room, holding it by her side. As she left the cavern, she found the basement doors had flung back open, and the girls were standing in shock and awe. "Well? Let's go," Jamie says, stepping up the first layer of stairs. "Don't. Someone's up there opening them and closing them. What's in your hand?" Abigail warns and then ponders to her. "The box. I got it open. Why are you pansies staying down here, when we could be upstairs looking through this jewel?" Jamie asks. "If you go up the first, I'll go up second." And so, the girls made their way upstairs to the couches and coffee tables. Jamie laid the box down onto the table in front of her, and the girls huddled around for some warmth in the oncoming storm. There was no way to leave now. The storm was raging on and the streets were flooding. There was an immense fog outside, preventing them from even seeing from the flood. "What did you open up? Pandora's box?" Cassie asks, jokingly. "Well, some girl liked riding a horse. Maybe she's our Pandora," Jamie says, lifting up the hatch again to show the chest. The contents remained in place, and she pulled them out. She lay them onto the table for inspection and then stands up to walk over to the window. "Who's this in the backdrop?" Sarah asks, examining the image. "What?" Jamie asks, returning and bending over Sarah's back to view the image. She sees the man in the tuxedo and shrugs. "He looks kinda burned," Sarah says, tilting the image over to Christina. "Oh," gasp. "A burned man inside of an old and abandoned burned-down sorority house. Whatever will happen next?" Christina teases. lifting herself from the couch and walking over to the window with Jamie. Knock. 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 There are 3 knocks at the door suddenly. Christina looks over and walks toward it, putting her eye up to the peephole. She expected for someone to be there to tell her to leave, to tell her the place was about to be demolished when they came inside. There was nobody there, this time. Hello. She twists the doorknob and opens up the white door to show nothing but heavy droplets of rain and hail. Chapter 2. A few times I've been around that track. So it's not just gonna happen like that. Because I ain't no hollaback girl. Christina's cell phone blares the song by Gwen Stefani before she can finally answer it. She digs it from her pockets and lifts it to her ear. Hello. Before someone could respond, she lifts it off of her ear to see the number is unknown and random. She didn't even recognize the area code. She expected the number to be 666, 666, 666 or something. She would have even accepted 1800 blood or something else of the like. But no, the number was 775, 5688 with an area code of hash. Hello? She asks again. A seemingly robotic and yet deep voice responds to her. The audio cuts out, and then returns. Hello. Is anyone? The audio sounds out until eventually dropping the signal. The phone dials back a minute later, and she opens it back up to see the same number. She answers, hello. Do you like a horse? I see or your face. It continues to stutter until cutting out again. Who is it? Jamie asks. Someone messing with us. 775, 5688. Let's see here. I have an internet connection. I'll look it up on a Tracerback site, Christina says, logging into her phone's internet services. She types the number in on Ahoy's database and eventually comes up with a number with several comments. Jack M., do you like horses? Carl Sampson, do you like a horse? Chris Langston, do a horse? She shuts her phone and looks oddly around the room. A bunch of comments about liking horses. This is stupid. Chad's going through a lot of trouble to freak us out, Christina laughs. Let's go look for them upstairs, Jamie says, pointing to a hidden stairwell by some old boxes. The stairs have corroded with moss and burned wood. The girls walk over and shift the boxes to the side, and carefully go up the stairs. They reach the top stairwell and see a quick shadow burst in front of their eyes. Chad? Jamie asks, walking upwards into a hallway that is sectioned off by a wall and several bedrooms. Christina follows up behind and steps ahead with Jamie. Listen, Chad, it isn't funny. It stopped being funny a while ago. Jamie walks into one of the bedrooms, and the door slams shut behind her before Christina could get a single toe in. Jamie? Jamie freaks out. She tries to open the door but fails to do so. She turns around to see a man. This man has a singed left side of his face and is in a tuxedo. His eyes are completely black, and he has a fire poker, not a stick, in his right arm. His head is tilted sideways, and his right portion of the tuxedo is singed to a crisp. He has 3 veins sticking out of the right arm and leaking down onto the fire poker. This isn't funny. Was it ever funny? It asks in a clever tone. Jamie screams and attempts to open the door. You and your friends are very beautiful. Very ... pretty. Do you like to ride horses? Stay away from me. Why? I just want to get to know you is all. I see you found my daughter's pictures. Was she not pretty? What are you? Leave me alone. I'm nobody. I'm one of them 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 one of them. Within moments of the final one of them, Jamie is grabbed by the wrist and thrown down to the bed inside. She, laying on her back now, screams and tries to move, but can't. The mysterious figure lifts up his fire poker and giggles. He turns from a giggle to a hysterical laugh and begins to cut his arm with the fire poker. A mirror next to the bed cracks and bursts into pieces on the floor. Do you know me? He asks a seemingly odd question. He raises his weapon into the air and thrusts downward, tearing into her lower abdomen. He twists and pulls out bits and pieces of intestine matter. He yanks out nearly a foot before ripping it off from the tail end. Jamie begins to feel faint and notices the man carry her intestine strand up to the top of the bed. She passes out. It's okay. Let me do all the work. Let the Wendigo do his work. Within moments, the Wendigo bites into the intestine matter and wraps it around her neck. When the door flies open, the Wendigo is gone, and Christina stands horrified at the sight of her friend, strangled by her own intestine. My daughter needs to eat, the Wendigo whispers into her ear. Christina screams and falls to her back, turning up to see her stalker. He laughs and brandishes his fire poker into the air. Go now. Warn them that I'm coming. We have a storm to sit through, and we will sit through it together.